screw you, won't see this. I'm not a pro gamer, eh? If you notice me looking down through the course of this video, it's because I have notes. I played the beta. I haven't had a lot of time to make any videos, so I haven't uploaded any videos yet. This is the first since the beginning of my beta experience. And anyways, I have a lot to say because over the course of the beta, as I was playing it and I was learning the game, it was a brand new Call of Duty. We all go through the same things. It's just Call of Duty, but slightly new mechanics. Kind of feels the same, but it's not. It's the same thing this year as it's always been every year, except this year there are a lot of complaints. Like a majority of the videos I'm seeing on YouTube are just all complaints, and I get that human nature. You want to see complaints, so maybe they're uploading it just for the negative aspect of that, just to get views. But if they are, and if they're not, they need to spend more time with the game, because I want to start this one on a positive note before we get more into the details of what I have to say about these specific content creators and their specific opinions and their specific gameplay to back it up. Dog shit. I want to show you that this will be the best Call of Duty in a very long time. You're going to see some epic gameplay this year on the pro level. It's going to be unbelievable, unreal. I'm probably going to be watching the CDL for the first time in years. And to back up my opinion, here's some clips of my own.
Money world.
Infinity Ward says they won't change the minimap in MW Roman numeral 2 as red dots negatively affects certain players. That's really all that needs to be said. I don't even want to read the rest.
Beta, we only show enemy player dots when a UAV is active. The design reason for this is that we do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. Okay, so you shouldn't be penalized for firing your weapons. Guns don't make noise, apparently. And then we also want players to actively search out the origin of gunshots versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the minimap. And we continue to gather feedback on how game is playing in regards to this topic. They're not actually going to change anything, I don't think. Target track
dot rules. This is a big one, right? Are we going to be getting the classic minimap? No, it doesn't make any sense. So they say currently in the Modern Warfare 2 beta, we only show enemy player dots while a UAV is active. The design reason for this is that we do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. We also want players to actively search out the origin of a gunshot versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the minimap. We continue to gather feedback on how the game is playing in regards to this topic. What kind of nonsense is that? The design reason for this is we don't want to punish you for firing your weapons. It's going to make suppressors OP. Everyone's going to have to run suppressors. Really? If only we had over 10 years worth of COD history to look back on where the minimap worked just fine. It's only
We continue to gather feedback on how the game is playing in regards to this topic. So first off, this does not seem like it's going to change at all. This is one of those things that it's kind of just like, hey, this is our intent on it, and even though we hear your feedback, we're probably not going to change it. Personally, I'd be very curious as to why their prior reasoning has always been data, how the player subsets affected by this outweigh those vocally asking for change out of the last couple of years. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that because I cannot imagine that it deters that many players that much, especially when you have things like suppressors, ghost as a perk, and other ways to counter. If you fire your weapon as they say, you should be giving up your position in my opinion. You should be taking that risk to get that kill and move on in your streak. That's why you have gameplay counters like suppressors that make that gun choice more useful, why it has value to it. I also don't understand why we can't just like test it out.
Alright, so what you just saw was a 2-minute montage. An example montage, you could say. From 4 days. From 4 days of me learning a new game. And what you saw in that montage were a couple cameras getting broken, slide canceling to escape from shots, quick scoping, trick shots, an accidental ladder stall, maybe the first ladder stall, no scope, by the way, in Modern Warfare 2 history already. Done by not a pro gamer, ain't no tap PG. Claiming it's mine. And after that, you saw the opinions of some of these content creators. And at first I was going to show you multiple clips of all of them. And I show you 4 of the main ones there. Some of the big guys there. J God, Espresso, Miro Cinema, and the Codfather, Blame Truth. Those were the 4 content creators you just saw, all complaining about the new mini-map changes. You would have even seen one of them playing Black Ops 2. So stuck in the past that he's still playing Black Ops 2. The other one you heard talking about 10 years of Call of Duty history when he was referring to the mini-maps, saying, why are we changing anything? We've had 10 years of Call of Duty history, 10 years of them complaining about problems in the game, 10 years of people not being quite happy about the game. When was the last time anyone was really happy with the game? Modern Warfare 2. Before anyone really understood radar pings and mini-maps fully, to like the full extent. I'm not talking about on the professional level, obviously they knew. I'm just talking about the casual player, which is what they're trying to build the game for. It's not necessarily an esport game. Esports gets built around Call of Duty. Call of Duty is not an esport like you could consider League of Legends. League of Legends is primarily an esport. StarCraft 2, primarily an esport. Call of Duty is for casual players. Some people take it very seriously. And I would love to see Call of Duty become an esport, but it never will as long as we're switching it up every single year. And we're going to keep switching it up every single year until the casual players are happy and the professional players are happy. And that's the median they're trying to find right now, I believe, so they can become an established esport, and then they won't need to change everything every single year. They can keep it consistent enough that people want to invest in them, they want to sponsor them, because that's the main problem with Call of Duty right now, besides the hacking issues and Activision's own internal problems, is the inconsistency in the game. You can't invest in teams because you don't know which team is going to be good one year from the next, who's going to be the best player in what game modes, on what maps, what kind of mechanics they're going to have. Are you flying through the air this year? Are you not? Is it really tactical on the ground? Maybe you want formal on your team if it's really fast paced, submachine guns, maybe you want scump on your team. You don't, it's hard, it's tough. So I see from a financial perspective why they're trying to make the game more consistent. Everyone has a problem with that, it seems. The reason I'm not going to show you anything beyond the mini-map problem, and I'm going to stick to just the mini-map problem, beyond making multiple videos discussing more if I need to, I think just from the 4 videos I displayed while making this video, 21 minutes so far, I think you can see the state of mind of these content creators and these people, how they're just stuck in the past and they just don't want to see change. They don't even understand the change. J-God says at one point that it's punishing it, that it shouldn't punish players, or that it should punish players, because when you fire your gun, you are giving away your position. Yes, you are, sure, audio-wise. In real life, I'm not saying Call of Duty is real life because it's an arcade shooter, I understand that, but they're trying to get some realism in the game because everyone says they want realism in the game while maintaining the Call of Duty feel, and that's exactly what this mini-map approach, I think, accomplishes. In real life, when you shoot your gun, or a gun, people don't have a mini-map position of where you are. Even if they have their cell phone and their Google Maps in their hand, when you shoot your gun, they can't say, okay, that was from 90 degrees north, that was 100 yards, it sounded like, by the fact that it was a 9mm Beretta, and it took half a second for the sound to hit me, or something like, you know what I mean? And he's obviously at this exact position 200 yards away. It doesn't happen. You don't get that. You get an audio cue, and you understand, okay, he's somewhere over in that general direction shooting shots. And then you have to look at your mini-map and say, okay, where is he likely to be? What's in that direction? I know there's a corner over there they could possibly be in, there's a top window they could possibly be in, and you have to start narrowing. Rather than just having an exact location. So that way when you come running around the corner, even a high skilled player has some guessing work to do. So it's not just all, you know, it's not all predictable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It changes the predictability of the game. The same with the Dead Silence upgrade, which people aren't understanding, and I'm calling it an upgrade. Having it as the field perk rather than a regular perk means that people can't be dead silenced all the time, running around all the time. It means they have to really consider how they're going to move around the map, maneuver. And the more kills you get, the better you are at maneuvering around the map. All of a sudden it becomes easier for you because you get your dead silence faster, and dead silence does spawn pretty quick in it. You can get your dead silence quite often if you're a good player, and you can keep using it, and it stacks off kills. So it shouldn't become a problem. I don't even see how that is a problem. I just feel like at this point they want things to complain about. I think that's a beautiful way to have dead silence. It's an epic way to use dead silence, and it's not overpowered. If you have it all the time, then it's overpowered, like the ninja perk in Vanguard. Then everybody's just running the same perks all the time. What you're going to see in this now is variety. You're going to see variety in all sorts of ways. In loadout selection, perk selection, and gameplay styles. And I think we'll see it even on a CDL level, how it plays out. We're going to see different strategies for the first time this year because we have different ways to engage in gunfights. And the movement in this game is beyond any movement we've ever had before. The problem with Modern Warfare 2019 was the slide cancel was so overpowered, and eventually people were able to break it and make it even more overpowered just by getting so skilled with it that it became the only way to take gunfights, the only way to move around the map. It's not the case in this game. You can still move very effectively with it, but if you're moving too much with it because you're not dead silenced all the time, and because people are running perks to reveal you on the mini-map specifically, and you're not running your silencer thinking that you're safe because it doesn't show up on the mini-map now, they're gonna know where you're at. It's not going to be a good situation for you. I think you'll see a lot of players using snaking, using barriers, using strategies. Kind of closer to a slower paced game, but at the same time you'll see it in the Call of Duty fashion, where you might set up a barrier in one spot, use a drill on a wall to make sure they're not in the next room over, push down that hallway using your slide cancel and your bunny hops, make sure one of you is checking the corner while one slides around the corner. You'll see things like that, flashbangs around the corners. You'll see more teamwork being involved along with the movement. We're going to see some crazy stuff this year, I believe it. And the problem with these content creators making these opinions is they suck. JGod sucks. He even knows it. So why is he talking about the gameplay of the game? JGod, you do you. You get into a private match when you're able to. You shoot a gun at a bot, and you tell us how long it takes to kill that bot, and which gun's the best. That's what you got famous for. That's the only thing you've been good for since. You're not on a professional CDL team. You haven't dropped a big kill game that I know of, because you're only known for one thing, JGod. That's okay. You rock it. I'm unknown. I'm rocking it. That's alright. But you, my man, I don't want to hear you talking about gameplay, movement, nothing, until I see you break a couple cameras. I don't mean bot cameras because you're rocking a VPN and you don't think it's cheating and it's for content none of that. I want you to go into a solo, Fortune's Key, at 1 a.m. in the morning, demon hours, when I'm online, and do your thing. Show me you got some kind of a modicum of skill, but you won't. Espresso, bot. Sorry, you are. That's it. The Codfather, you're stuck in the past. I don't even need to address you. You're so far stuck in the past, man, that you named yourself the Codfather. Like, what the hell? The Godfather. That movie was whatever. And Nero Cinema. 10 years of Call of Duty history. Man. 10 years of Call of Duty history. If it didn't turn into something new, if it didn't amount to anything, those would be wasted 10 years. You were trying to ruin our childhoods, trying to ruin all of our good times by bringing up the past like that. Leave it in the past, alright? Just leave it in the past. Move on. The games change, the mechanics change, the gunfights change. It all changes, it gets better, it improves year after year, and no one realizes it until months after or into the game, minus Vanguard. Vanguard, I think, will be the and Advanced Warfare. Those are the two, outliers in that. Call of Duty has been consistently progressing forward for a very long time, I believe, especially with Warzone. Now they've reached a new point with that. I think it's going to be only up from now on, and when they get the consistency in the game to have casual players be able to have fun and pro players be able to enjoy the game on a professional level, that they can maintain it for years without it becoming boring for us, the people who get bored of the maps in the beta, 3 maps in the beta after 4 days, you're getting bored. You know what I mean? They need to change, it needs to evolve, it needs to update, and that's my piece now. I'm not going to go into anything further. I guess I'll just let the gameplay go here until the end. Enjoy. Thanks for tuning in if you did get to this point, and if you didn't, fuck you, you won't see this. I'm out.